Hey guys, before we get started, Matt, I'm going to stop the podcast right now. I need to talk about something.
Before we even started?
Haven't even started. Yeah, screeching hole. I'm like, hit the gas brake. It's like everybody slammed to the front of their seat. I watched Suicide Squad, the James Gunn Suicide Squad remake last night. Awesome. You're going to hate it.
I'm hearing a lot of good things about it.
I think you're going to hate it because I describe it as finally it's like the Guardians of the Galaxy for DC. They did it right. Finally a movie I can get mad. But it's my favorite DC movie since like The Dark Knight, perhaps. I love it.
I'm going to watch it. It's on my list of things because I've heard enough good things about it.
He literally was like, fuck it. I'm going to put in ridiculous characters. I'm going to make it gory as hell. I'm just going to get weird with it. I'm going to have giant monsters in it. I just like, he just went balls to the wall and I just had a great time. Like I was cracking the fuck up. Had amazing kills. Like some of the best gory ass kills I've seen in a long time. People were getting fucked up. I thought it was great. Totally worth a watch.
All right. Well, I'm going to watch it, but maybe I'll watch it specifically now. We can do an episode maybe next week and talk about it.
All right. What? Okay. I'm going to hit gas.
While you were doing that, I was watching Japanese film from the 70s. I watched my very first Lone Wolf and Cub. I bought the Criterion collection.
Good. It's so good,
Yeah,
Rumi.
it's fucking cool. I mean, it took me like 10 minutes or so to get into it because within the first 12 minutes, you see two different kids breastfeed. And that's cool. So, then later on, you see dogs breastfeeding, and that's off of dog boobs. That's cool. But no, it's
dude,
awesome.
No, we're gonna get sidetracked if we start talking about Lone Wolf Cup.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll do a Lone Wolf Cup thing. Okay, all right. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at LaunchpadPod, and our website, launchpadpod.com. We have a very special, hilarious episode today, so let's get on with the show.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right. Welcome to the Launchpad Podcast. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Twinkle Toes.
Oh, Matt. Well, for those of you just listening, Matt and I are dressed up like fucking clowns. Matt, why are we dressed up like clowns today?
Sunday. Well, I was going to make a joke about your hair always looking like a clown, but I feel like that's very hypocritical of me to say. We are going to do an episode that's one of those things that I always feel like we've been doing this for years, but we haven't touched this one specifically yet. We're going to do an episode about creepy clowns in movies, clowns in TV, scary clowns. Obviously, we'll touch Pennywise, but a bunch of other ones that maybe you know about, maybe you don't.
And so we dressed up like Matt's got like a rainbow wig on, big nose. I brought on the big shirt and some goofy gloves. For those of you watching the YouTube, you can see it. Super fun. Yeah. So we're gonna be doing some clowning around today. But first, Matt, I got one question for you. Hey, Matty, do you like clowns?
I don't know if I like them, but I just realized I had a fucking Pennywise sweater that I meant to put on that zips up the face and you see Pennywise's face. And I specifically was like, take it out before you go to bed so that you remember for tomorrow. I don't dislike clowns. I don't think, like, I'm not afraid of them as a whole, but I also don't ever remember seeing a clown and being mesmerized by how funny and interesting they are. You know what I mean? Like, I've never been like, oh, wow, clowns. I got nothing against them. I like the idea of a scary clown, but we'll talk about that in a second. Do you like clowns?
I don't dislike clowns. I wouldn't say I'm afraid of clowns. I'm not into them, but if I see a clown, I'm not going to like run up to him and be like, whoa, hey clown. Whoa, I can't wait to talk to that clown. Unlike
if you're walking down the street and a clown is walking on the same sidewalk as you towards you, do you cross the street or do you stay on that sidewalk?
I stay on the street, but I'm not going to talk to the clown. But if I see like a magician or a ventriloquist, I'm talking to him.
Sure. I mean, okay. Yeah. I get that.
Depends on how hot the ventriloquist dummy is. But anyway.
What episode was that? You guys need to listen to that episode.
Not out yet. It's not out yet. Yeah. It'll be, Jesus, at this point it will be out. So
we're in the future past, but we did an episode. Listen to all of our stuff because we did an episode where we talk about how hot ventriloquist dummies are and sexual relations with ventriloquist dummies.
Jeff Dunham is not having a good time if I stay over at his house. But no, I'm not talking to any clowns. If I see a clown, I'm specifically like maybe not being the warmest to them, but I don't care. Like, fine, you do you. But
because of Eel and because of movies and stuff?
No, just look, when I see a clown and they're in makeup and they're acting happy as fuck, they're at work. And I know for a fact, because I go to work, that if you're at work and you're acting happy, you're not happy. Yeah. You're at work. So, ipso facto, clowns, it's like your job to be goofy and happy and have a great time. But like, that's your job. So that's
a very professional thought about clowns. Like, I don't think most of us think that way one way or another.
So I don't want to go up to them if they're not in the mood to be happy and funny. I don't be like, hey, clown, make me laugh. Like, I if they're there at a birthday party and they're doing their thing, I might, I'd be fine with it. I'm not afraid of clowns, but I have had some creepy clown experiences, just in the sense that it's like I've seen a creepy clown way before 2016 when people were doing the creepy clown thing. We were driving along, me and my buddy. I was 16. So, 2001, 2000, and me and my buddy are at a park stoplight, and I look over, and he looks over, and he's like, you see that clown, right? And I'm like, yeah. And the clown is standing in the bushes on the side of the road.
Oh, you told me about that.
Not on the sidewalk, not behind the bushes, not like a hedge. He's literally in the hedge, like da 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 da. And it was like, well, that's fucking nightmare.
Definitely a person, not a decoration or something that was set up.
Well, he was waving. He had a balloon. He's like, He was doing it before it was cool. And then my freshman year, you'll remember this. I had my appendix out and I was in the hospital for a real long time. And while I was remember that. Because for whatever weird reason, my insurance billed me as a child. So they're like, you're in the children's ward. So here I am, a 19-year-old young man in the children's ward.
Appendixless bastard.
Yeah, appendixless bastard. I'm in a lot of pain because it was a bad situation, bad surgery. Everything was fucked up. And like, I was whacked out on some painkillers and a clown showed up and it was nightmarish. It was nightmarish. And that's like one of the only times I've been like, no, get his jolly ass away from me. That was horrifying. It was horrifying. But
I'm waiting for the punchline of that story for you to be like you come down from those drugs and you're feeling a little bit better and the nurse was in there and she's like, how you feeling today? Appendixless bastard who's a giant dude in a kid's
children's bed. Yeah.
And you're like, I feel a little bit better, but I tell you that clown last night fucked me up. And she looks at you and is like, what clown?
We didn't have any clowns. Yeah. Right.
And
probably.
As you start to think about it, it was the same clown from the bush. That'd be fucking cool, right?
No, it'd be horrifying.
But your life is not that cool.
But as much as I don't care about clowns, lukewarm at best. I do like me some scary clown movies.
Okay.
And we've talked about it. You can listen to all our versions of it. We've talked to one of the makeup artists, Bart Mixon, who did the makeup for the original Tim Curry,
1990, the TV series It. That's a really fun it's a two-part episode. You guys, it's not just It, but we cover It pretty extensively. You guys should definitely check that out.
And we've talked about the original miniseries with Tim Curry, and when we talked about the new one, which, we bitched about for an hour and a half.
Yep, but, I mean, it has a creepy clown in it.
So I think we're probably not going to talk much about it, but wouldn't you say, when it comes to creepy clowns, it might be top of the mountain?
I can't think, I'm not going to say it's the best, although I personally do think it's probably the best, but it's the go-to. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I always try to. My mom is the barometer for this.
Sure,
barometer. I'll be like, if I ask my mom what's a creepy clown, her go-to would be It. Yeah. And I say my mom because my mom doesn't watch cool shit or read cool shit. She doesn't think about that. So I take her as like a middle America, not middle America, but middle of America. Just like, I know a bunch of stuff, but I don't know a lot of shit. So what would I know?
Your mom would be like, what's that clown? He cut that girl in half and wore her boobs around half the movie. It's like, she's not talking about Art the Clown, is she? No. Yeah, she would know. She'd be like, that one movie, Stephen King,
Oh, yeah, and she would know it was It. She might not know his name is Pennywise, but she would know it was It.
No, it was It, yeah.
And she she might be able to pick him up out of a lineup. But I also think that is one that had the greatest impact on pop culture. You know what I mean? I think that's one of those things like Psycho. I knew everything about Psycho years before I ever saw it. I think most people feel that way about Pennywise, at least what he looks like, what he does, that he's an evil clown. Even if you never read the movie or saw the book, you know that he's evil, which I think is really interesting. And I want to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I think it is probably the high watermark on scary clowns. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think and even though it's like one of those things, like if you want to be a real nerd about it, it's not Frankenstein's monster. It's, Frankenstein's a doctor. It wasn't a clown.
He's not really a clown.
He's a demon. He feeds on the fear of a town and the evil deeds. And the clown was just what he used to scare children. Okay. All right, fine. It's a killer clown. But I think he's not the first killer clown. There's been other movies earlier with killer clowns in them. But like, I think as far as, like you said, the high watermark, top of the mountain, the go-to, it's Pennywise, man. He's horrifying. His makeup is iconic. And I think, I will even say this, the new ones, say what you want about it, the makeup is now become even more iconic in the same sense that like Joker, is iconic. Like it's that's that scary clown from that scary movie. Whereas the original It makeup for me will be always the It, but it was a clown makeup, and then the teeth and the way he acted and the things he did is what made him really scary. And then the makeup kind of started to mirror that as he got more evil. But like the second you see the new It, Skarsgård's It, you're like, that's an evil fucking clown.
Right. And I would love to talk about that. I guess before we do, let me jump back. Can I talk a little bit? I saw a little bit about what some people think is the first killer clown. Can I talk about that? Did you read about this?
Yeah, drop it on me. I think this is a great one.
And then I want to talk about the killer, a scary clown versus a regular clown. But so this is actually based on a real life event too, which I read about, but the real life event is very much what the story I'm about to explain is, just not on purpose.
And this isn't Matt trying to fuck with me. This is true.
No, this is according to the internet that I researched from multiple sources, this is true. In 1849, Edgar Allan Poe wrote a short story, or I guess say released a short story called Hop Frog.
Hop Frog.
And in it, it's about a king who's like an asshole. And he has this fool character, a jester named Hop Frog. And Hop Frog is like a hunchback dwarf. So his upper body is super muscular. It sounds like the hunchback from 300. Upper body super muscular, but his legs are messed up. He walks weird with a weird hop. That's why they call him Hop Frog, but he's really good at climbing. He has a best friend, possible girlfriend, who's also a dwarf, a girl who is a dancer for the king. And the story is a short story, but it goes on and on about how the king loves practical jokes, and he's a mean kind of joker. He likes shit that is
not jokes. The jokes are only you are laughing at. Yeah,
it specifically explains it that way, that like he's a fan of all jokes, but his favorite jokes are practical jokes, and he's mean-spirited about it. And it specifically says something about like he has a jester to laugh with, but he has Hop Frog to laugh at. So he really like reams this guy. He makes him drink to get drunk and sick, and makes him do all this other shit. And they're having this big masquerade party, and the king and his noblemen don't know what to dress up as. And they have I think the girlfriend's name is Trippetta. They have Trippetta and Hop Frog come to advise them on what they could be for this costume party. And in doing that, the king gets pissed and pushes Trippetta over and throws his drink in her face. And Hop Frog gets pissed. So he has this idea. You guys are going to be these crazy orangutans. I'll help you dress up like orangutans. You'll rush into the room. We'll lock all the doors and everyone will think you're real orangutans. They'll go crazy. And the king loves it. So that night, they sew the king and his wise men into these costumes, which is what really happened to a real king at one point. And they cover the costumes in tar and flax, which is all very flammable, I guess. I mean, I know tar is. And they have this whole thing.
Flax for the hair, because flax is like a wispy, it's a wispy growing thing.
So they look kind of like orangutans, right? And they bust in and everyone goes crazy. The doors lock behind them. And the thing also explains that a chain has been suspended from the ceiling or from a window, a skylight. And The guys are running around having a great time. They're chained together to make it seem like they're escaped orangutans. So they're chained in a circle. And at a certain point, Hop Frog hooks them to the chain. The chain pulls them up. So now they're dangling. And Hop Frog grabs a torch and says, "Who are these masked men? Let's see." And he leans in and lights them on fire. And they go up like crazy and they burn to a crisp immediately. And he escapes. So
all well dressed as a jester.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's theoretically the first literary, at least according to some research that I did, that's the first real killer clown out for revenge. And he's out for revenge. And the story, I actually read the actual short story. It doesn't really describe clown. It doesn't describe his makeup. It doesn't describe that. But the idea of his job,
his job was a lesser jester. And I just listened to a huge podcast series from Last Podcast on the Left about the plague and the plague era and that whole thing. And they were talking about like comedians and jesters, and they're like, that's a mean job. Like, you basically show up and everybody throws shit at you and kicks your ass. Yeah. So like, you're making them laugh. But the best way to get a laugh is to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, they're laughing at you.
At you, yeah. So the whole thing about you being goofy, like the best ones were the ones that could do other things. Like, hey, but I juggle, so you don't have to kick my ass.
Right, yeah.
You know, I'll still do silly shit, but like, hey, but I'm juggling. Don't beat me up yet. So like, they had to get good at stuff. And it's like the ones that were the worst or the hardest hit up were the ones that just got their asses kicked. It was a mean profession.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty interesting that might be the first literary example of a creepy clown. And, you know, he's out for revenge. At the end, he's like maniacally laughing as these guys are dying and burning up and stuff. So I thought it's a pretty good little read. It's called Hop Frog if you want to check it out. It's like it's a page or two long. It's
not very long at all.
It's pretty interesting, but I thought that was cool.
So in movies, as we move along, there's some early clowns that are creepy. The Man Who Laughs is a famous version, but he's not really a clown. Again, it's more he's the inspiration for the Joker 100%, but like not necessarily a clown. And there are clowns who are creepy, but not necessarily evil. And it's pretty fascinating because, you know, when we start getting into scary clown movies, it's a pretty generic genre. You throw on a clown mask, you start killing teenagers. There are a lot of these movies, and especially when we get to direct-to-video era, like they just start pumping them out. You got some clown makeup and a fake knife, we got a movie, let's make it. Like it's crazy going into this how many of these are and how many of them suck. And you know, but I did some research, we watched some, and I actually was pretty pleased with the ones that I saw. They're good.
Yeah, me too. It's interesting because I think, like we talked about at the beginning, some people are just afraid of clowns. Now, whether that's an inherent fear or a fear based on movies and media that they've seen, there are some people who are automatically going to be against and scared of a clown movie from the get before the clown movie even starts. You know, it's almost like if you could make a movie about heights that would put you there. There are people who immediately would be like, nope, I'm out. Like we have a friend at Shitty Movie Sunday who will not participate in a clown movie. She's like, if we're watching clown, I'm going home. She's that scared of it. Wow. Which is interesting. And I guess the same.
What's the name of that? I'm sure there's clownophobia.
Pussophobia. Being a pussy. I think the same can be said about like killer dolls, or, you know, some people hate in movies when someone gets stabbed in the eye. You know what I mean? Like when someone gets really bad eye trauma, you just automatically, like, that's your thing. Like, I don't like spiders, but I could easily watch a spider movie, especially if it's like a horror movie. Arachnophobia is rough because there's a lot of real spiders for me. But like otherwise,
coulrophobia.
It should be something funnier, right? Like it should be like white faceophobia or something like that.
It's a psychological offense tied to traumatic events in somebody's past. Like a clown got in your face real hard. Now you're like, no.
Can I tell you a story about that?
Yeah.
So years ago, I was doing makeup for a commercial, and it was a play about serving beer. It was a Coors commercial about serving beer to miners, but the miners in the commercial were coal miners. So I was doing coal makeup on these guys. So it looked like they'd been in a coal mine, right? Mm-hmm. Think of Santa Claus in a coal mine. So a big, dirty, bearded guy, right? I'm doing makeup on him, and it's weird. Those guys clearly had not done a lot of actual makeup because it was weird for them. I could tell it was weird for some of them to have another man putting makeup on their face. So in doing that, I tried to like talk them down and just bullshit with them while I did it, right? So this big Santa Claus guy comes in and I'm like, so how'd you get in on this? And what I meant was this commercial. How did you get on this commercial? He's like, well, when I was a kid, I was terrified of clowns. I used to have, and this is like, I'm just doing makeup on this guy's face. I was not ready for this. He was like, I used to have a recurring nightmare almost every night that clowns came from under my bed, dragged me under there to like a clown world, did clown makeup on me, and then sent me back. And my parents didn't recognize me. And I was like, wow.
That's better than most of these movies that I watch.
Right? Absolutely. So yeah, that guy needs to be writing, not acting. But he said he went through a theater program. He would talk to a psychologist, and the psychologist told his parents, get him into theater putting makeup on. And he did that slowly. And he said, I started to do more and more of it, and I got more comfortable. So like he finished, and I was like, did it work? He was like, yeah, I'm much better about it now, and I like acting. He's like, I got bit by the acting bug. And then he paused, and he went, but I still don't like clowns.
I believe it. Here's a few other things. He Who Gets Slapped, 1924, is maybe
I saw that one
of the first times clowns were scary, but not on purpose. They weren't like, this is a Lon Chaney one. It's about this guy who falls from grace. He's an academic and he can't get a job. So he becomes a clown. And every night he's the clown that gets beat the fuck up and basically tortured by other clowns in a circus. So it's not necessarily the clowns are supernatural or murderous. It's just using clowning to be like, this is horrifying. Oh my God, this guy's in hell. Then there was basically, I'm reading that Poltergeist is the first time we saw a clown do something evil.
I actually saw that too and decided it could not be true.
Can't be true, right?
Be true. I have, and if you, no, you know what? I think that's not. No, it's not. It's definitely not. If you guys are following along at home, in some of the research I did, I found a website called creepycatalog.com/scary-clown-movies. And then there's a backslash. And it was the title of it was Every Clown Movie Ever Made. And I was like, there's no way there's one way. But actually it has a lot. I don't know if it has every, but it was definitely a really good kind of blueprint and Bible to go by for prepping this episode. So if you guys want to do that, they cover some in depth and other ones they just have little blurbs about, but there's links to all of them and everything. So it's definitely a good place to start. But yeah, Poltergeist was the first big one on their list too, which
that's crazy. I mean, there has to be some sort of black and white one where the clown was creepy, right? I mean, being evil, like that's the difference. There's a movie that keeps popping up on here. I guess we'll just get into the movies called Blood Harvest that has Tiny Tim as a horrifying clown. And I think it's such a ripoff because I started like looking into this movie and I'm like, he's not the killer. He's just a creepy guy who lives there. Like think about like, Twin Peaks, how there's just weird people in the town. He's a guy dressed like a clown who's a real creeper, but like not the killer. And the clown has nothing, but he's like this, like they keep pushing him as the main star. Here's Tiny Tim as a creepy clown. It has nothing to do with him. He's literally just a side character who appears every now and then, is actually kind of the hero. So it's like, that's weird.
There's a movie called The Clown Murders that I think has John Candy in it. That's 1976. And it's, a kidnapping prank gone wrong when a real clown ends up stalking somebody. That's one of those movies that I started watching and couldn't. Like, it was so boring and slow and bad.
But that's before Poltergeist. Come on.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And there's got to be, you're right. There's got to be others. I don't think they'd be as flagrantly creepy, like horror movie icons, but probably like black and white creepy thing, I would think.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm really surprised by. It's like I can't really find a straight history of it. But let's get into some movies, man. Let's get into some movies. Okay. Can I give you my first one that I wanted to bring up? These are not in chronological order or anything I care about, but I watched a movie from 2014 called Clown.
Yes, I just watched that last night, and as I was watching, I was like, I hope he watched this one too.
So this from Master of Terror Eli Roth, but not really.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
Just slapped his name on it.
Yeah, we pretended that.
Yeah. He just slapped his fucking name on it. So this is a movie directed by John Watts, and I guess he did a short. Eli Roth saw the short and was like, let me get you some money to make this. This is a great idea. This is a body horror clown movie where this
guy... Real quick, apparently they made a short trash trailer, and in the trailer they used Eli Roth's name.
Right.
According to what I read, Eli Roth found that and thought it was like, because it had his name in it, he thought it was cool. Like he watched it and thought it was cool and was like, okay, I'll give you the money to make that into a real thing.
I hate that worked, by the way.
Yeah.
Fucking hate
Agreed.
that. Yeah. I'm just going to start Steven Spielberg presents and then like my douchey ass movie. It's like
Steven Spielberg, Jerry Bruckheimer, Spike Lee joint.
And they'll be like, how dare you, right? Like, how dare you? Not only are we not giving you money, you're getting a cease and desist letter.
But what if you did multiple? Because if you did multiple, then those guys might get together. Like Spike Lee might call Steven Spielberg and be like, "Are you really on board this Aaron McLean project?" And then Steven Spielberg wouldn't want to seem like he was missing out. He'd be like, "Yeah, man, I was one of the first ones on it." Like, well, did you call Jerry? Is Jerry? This is going to be big. We really got to put a lot of money into this.
All right, maybe it is a great plan. I mean, it worked. He got a movie made. And it's actually a pretty fucking solid movie. I got to give this a lot of credit. So it's a dad. His wife calls him, is like, hey, the clown's not here for your son's birthday. And the son's way into clowns. Creepy. Red flag, red flag, red flag. And he's like, damn, okay, well, let me see what I can do. And he's like a real estate agent and he's trying to fix up a house. He goes in the basement and there's a crate there. And inside the crate, holy shit, a clown costume. He's like, sweet. Awesome. I saved the day. So he shows up as a clown, does his clowny thing. Matt's juggling a rubber chicken right now. It's pretty funny. And so like so he puts it on and then like falls asleep in the clown costume. And the next day he can't take it off. Like it's literally becoming part of his body. And he starts transforming into a fucking clown monster. And it is gnarly. Like he tries to keep getting the nose off and it like literally rips the tip of his nose off. He keeps trying to pull the hair out and it's pulling out his scalp. And then he starts getting hungry for children and starts eating children. And he finds that famous guy who's in a bunch of shit. He's the Russian guy from. He's the Russian guy.
Always the Russian guy from. I meant to look that up. I'll take. You keep jibber jabbering. I'll tell you. Peter Stormare.
Yeah, classic. And he's like, "You didn't open Clown Box, did you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did. I'm wearing it right now." He's like, "Oh, come on by. I'll help you out." And he's like, "I got to cut your head off." So the rest of the movie. I show you how we fix the Russian space station. He keeps trying to cut this guy's head off, and then like the wife's like trying to help her husband who's turning into a child-eating clown monster, and then finally she's like, well, guess I'm on board for cutting his head off. This movie has a dog transforming into a clown monster.
Yeah, I wish we saw more of that, but
yeah, but I get it. They did a really good job with it.
The clown nose that he rips off and discards
and turns into a clown monster dog. Yeah, and they have to cut the dog's head off.
It's a cool scene when the dog's head gets cut off, though. Yeah. The dog's body keeps moving around a little bit.
He's eating kids. He's like threatening his own son.
Can I tell you, I was watching this yesterday, and it's long. In my opinion, it was long. It was an hour and 40 something minutes. It
didn't need to be this long.
Correct, but and it builds a lot up in the beginning before shit really starts. He can't get out of the clown suit, and there's actually a movie anthology called Scary or Die that has a similar premise where a guy somehow gets into clown bullshit or a clown nose, and it starts to make him into an evil clown creature, and he can't get it off. So I've seen this premise before. Scary or Die, I think, did it first, but I saw it first regardless.
Did this guy steal this idea? Were we talking about plagiarism right now?
Not only was it not Eli Roth's idea, it also wasn't my idea. But like, okay, you can make two movies that are about similar things, but like the first hour almost is this thing. He can't get the costume off and he tries, but not a lot of other stuff is happening. They're just building this up. And I took a break to go have dinner, and I'm having dinner with Amanda, and I'm telling Amanda we're doing this, and I'm like, it's really well made. It's well shot. It's well acted. It's blocked out well. It's not just a movie that's thrown together like most of these probably are. This is like it's put together well, but like nothing's happening. And I'm like, ugh, I still have like 40 minutes left. I went back into the room to start it again. He's trying to kill himself because he is turning. He feels himself getting turned, and he can't get the costume off. He thinks he's going crazy. He shoots himself in the head, and rainbow blood splatters all over the wall. And he immediately gets back up and is awake. So he goes and buys 2 circular saws, attaches them face up to 2 cinder blocks, and is going to tip a chair back so that his head goes between 2 of them.
Matt, he's a realtor, not an engineer, because he obviously, I can think of 6 ways right now to decapitate myself easier than that. Yeah, he has 2 circular saws tied to cinder blocks, and he's going to tip his chair backwards into it. Come on, bro.
But I got to tell you, it is silly as hell, but it's a good scene. And he tips his chair back and then it tips forward again. And he tips it back, but then he has second thoughts. He tips it back and there's a knock on the door. And the whole time these circular saws are going, you're like, oh, this is a pretty tense enough scene. And just as he's about to do it, this little kid who's been established as a cute little kid that lives next door, who he almost has eaten.
Yeah.
And I forget at this point if he's already bitten a kid's finger off because he bit a kid's finger.
He bit a kid's finger off, yeah.
Okay, so he bit a kid's... And at that point, I was like, okay, cool. So now he tips this chair back. The kid walks in. He turns to see the kid, which fucks up the chair alignment. The chair falls, hits these saws, knocks the saws over. You hear a metal screeching sound.
Yeah.
And a whip pan to the wall, and there is a chunk of the circular saw broken off in this. Yeah. And you're like, oh, shit. And then you realize the saw is dripping with blood. Yep. And I was like, tell me, I am back into this movie. I lean forward and it turns over to the kid who has a huge red gash through his chest. He
blood
falls over
down,
dead.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, now you're killing kids, and that does not stop. Kids get fucked up in this.
He's killing
movie.
kids. Yeah. And the thing is, you wear the clown suit, you have to eat 5 children before the clown suit lets you go. Horrifying. One of my favorite scenes in the movie, and normally I hate any sort of found footage thing because it's done badly. This is done right.
Yes.
The wife is looking for clues, and she goes to the warehouse where we first met Russian guy and everything. And
Peter Russian.
He's the devil in Constantine. Which is awesome.
He's everything and everything.
Yeah, he's that.
He's in one of the John Wicks, right?
When I think of that guy actors, he is that guy. Mm-hmm. He is that guy and everything. Anyway, she goes to his warehouse and she finds this chair with cuffs on it and chain restraints, and she finds a video camera and it's too tall, so she's having tiptoe to look into the video camera, and it's
to do playback,
and it's grainy, shitty VHS footage, and it's a demon clown tied to a chair, and it's done just right. Obviously, they didn't have a huge budget to show a demon clown, but what they do is scary as fuck, and it's just twisted enough and moving unnaturally enough that you're like, what the...
And the footage skips a little bit, and then right when she looks into it, in the footage, someone walks right by a camera, extremely close to the camera, so she jumps back because she thinks someone just walked by in front of the camera, and she realizes that she's watching footage, not a live feed. It's really well done.
It's a really well done. It's a great way to show something you probably couldn't show otherwise. And the movie gets into a lot of decapitation and trying to decapitate this guy, and she ends up having to rip her husband's head off, which is a fantasy, I'm sure, of lots of wives. But
right now, your wife and my wife are on a podcast calling I Wish.
I wish.
They're talking about the same movie.
He wouldn't stop talking about this killer clown movie, and I was like, I just want to rip his head off.
But the cool thing about this is it gets to a point where he looks like an evil clown. He looks like a demonic clown. But then at the end, you go full demonic clown creature. It's a creature suit. He's got weird legs. He's got a horn popping up from the top of his head.
It's a hat,
The eyes are way spread apart on his face. It really, really looks cool. It's shot, there's a lot of stuff in it that's shot a little dark that I wish I could see a little bit better. But, I could say that probably about most horror movies. And it's shot well. It looks like it's intentional.
The clown frill has grown into his neck like a scaly dinosaur frill.
Yeah, he's now a creature, a clown creature.
It's good.
The only thing that I was thinking while watching this about this episode is he most of the time is not doing stuff dressed like a creepy clown. He's mostly almost like a
dressed like a homeless man who's trying to
He's either a creepy guy and then he turns into almost like a clown monster or a clown demon. It doesn't really look like a creepy clown most of the movie, but he goes into a Chuck E. Cheese slide. And there's a little boy looking for his brother.
Yes.
And the little boy catches him about to eat his brother. So he lets the brother go and grabs that kid. And you just see a body fly through that. Then you see blood and chunks slide down the slide. It was really cool. There are some really good kills. There's some great gore. You see him kill a kid who's playing a video game, and it cuts from them to the video game, and blood and chunks and shit flat and hit the flat screen.
Yeah.
But later on, when people come and discover that body, it's essentially like legs, and from the waist up, just a mess. And it's beautiful because I know that whoever made that put a lot of time into it, and there's a lot of detail there. But
So
because
good.
it's wet and bloody and like a medium shot, you don't really get to see it, but it just makes you want it more. But it's, I mean, there's blood and shit there. It's good.
They were smart. This movie was really smartly made. I think it's a little too long. I could have cut some of his like searching and like,
Sure, you don't need that.
Yeah, and I know they did it to make it more human and make it hurt more, but like we get it. We understand.
I agree.
You know?
I would have gotten that in 20 minutes, not 40 minutes. And then they have the wife finds out that, at one point they kind of almost capture him, and he says, if you give me one more child, I'll return. The demon is like, I'll give you your husband back. And she's like, I don't know if I want to feed you a kid. But then she's like, okay, I will. So she gets a girl in her car, and she's going to meet the demon to give them the kid. And I thought that was, again, a longer scene than it needed to be. But I thought it was necessary and fun for the story to have her be like, I'll sacrifice some kid to get my husband and my, because the
also, why
husband
pick
demon
that kid? Why didn't you just go to your son and be like, hey, any other dicks at your school that you want to get rid of? Because that's what happens. That's what happens is the one of the first kids, the one that Matt was talking about with the video game screen, a kid was picking on his son, and his son comes home crying, and the clown's like, tell me who's this kid? Give me the dish, man. I want to know. Throw that shade. And the kid's like,
what flavor is he?
This kid sucks. He's like, all right, cool. Let daddy free. And he goes and like murders the kid. And it's like, nice. Like fucking great.
The only thing in there that wasn't, and tell me if you got this, Peter Russian, whatever his name is, Peter Stormare, it seems to me like he's trying to help at first, but then when the clown guy meets him, gets scared and runs, like they fight each other and he runs away. Then later on, Peter Stormare finds the wife, and she finds him because he's got his teeth wired shut. He can't talk to her, so he's writing her cryptic messages. Yep. But it always seems to be like I thought it was going to be one of those like the killer is in your backseat of your car thing, and I wasn't being creepy. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was trying to help you. And I thought it seems like he's saying we got to kill him. We got to stop this clown. But I thought there was going to be a thing where he was like, no, we can save him, but it would be too late or something. But it wasn't. He was just the whole time he was what he was.
Also, like anytime somebody can't write out a couple simple sentences, you're like,
here's the deal.
Here, feed him 5 kids or cut his head off. Two choices. It's actually needed less paper than you thought. And he wrote out the words, don't trust him, when you could be like, feed 5 kids.
Right.
Cut off head.
Well, it's that Harbinger episode that we still haven't done of like don't go in the woods. Yeah. Don't say that. Be like, listen, a guy got killed in the woods, and now I'm pretty sure his spirit is out there killing people. I know how that sounds, but here's the empirical evidence that I can back that up with. It's never like that. It's like, you're all doomed.
Yeah. Well, they're already crazy from just screaming so loud.
I guess if you're crazy, that's one thing, right?
Also, Peter Stormare, not Russian. He's Swedish. Who knew?
In real life, this movie, he does not play a Russian, but he does do an accent that changes. And I noticed that numerous times in the movie because I was like, wait, did you have that accent last time? And I was
he does whatever the fuck he wants in any movie he's in. I've noticed that. And video game. There's a video game called Until Dawn, which is a horror movie video game where you get to like help decide what happens, and it's a big like butterfly effect thing, and every now and then he just pops up as this guy talking to you, and he's like, oh, wasn't that fun, we figured some fun stuff out, you want to like kill some more? And you're like, yeah, why are we what is going on? He's a very confusing interlude. He's like, well, that was very strange, wasn't
Cut
it?
off your Johnson. Cut off your Johnson Lebowski, and step on it and squish it.
Squish it. He's great. He's one of my favorites. He's a great that guy. More clown movies. Hit me with one, Remy. What do you got?
Well, I got to tell you, this is a buy for me. I'll buy Clown because it's one of those. The cover looks, the summary looks like it's a shitty movie Sunday movie. This would not. I don't think this would work for shitty movie. I think this is too good. I think we could have fun and make fun of it, but it's too good. But I'll buy it. And the cover just says clown. It's got a creepy clown makeup on it. It's nothing. There's nothing that it sets it apart. But I would definitely recommend if you like movies like this, it's worth watching. It's a good movie.
Solid.
Another one that I watched last night, and I had to watch it on YouTube, was 1989's Clown House. You know anything about this?
I didn't see it. I haven't seen it, but I'm excited to hear about it because it's on the list of killer clowns.
3 different websites that I looked at mentioned it as like, this is actually a pretty creepy one. And it's an early one, 1989. So it's actually a year before Stephen King, the first Stephen King's It came out. It is Sam Rockwell's first movie. It is written and directed by Victor Salva, who you may remember wrote and directed Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2 and 3. And you also may remember has a bit of a pedophilia thing going on.
Yeah,
that started with this movie. And he absolutely was in trouble for molesting the 12-year-old star of the movie, as well as possibly one of the other cast of the movie. It's a small cast. It's like 5-10 people.
Please tell me he wasn't dressed as a clown.
I purposely didn't read into that aspect of it.
Oh, possibly Sam Rockwell?
No, Sam Rockwell apparently was the one that, well, what did they say? They said the one kid came out against it. The other kid, I forget, I read, there was something that said it looked like the other kid had a problem too, but he didn't go after it legally. So he didn't want to be dragged through. He didn't want his name dragged through.
Nothing ruins a movie for me that has like that kind of like heavy baggage.
I almost didn't watch it because of that, but it was apparently so good. They say it's like really, really good that I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And Amanda was like, you can't give him. I was like, I'm watching it on YouTube. Like, it's not even, I can't even buy it or stream it. It wasn't anywhere to stream. I watched it on YouTube. It's really interesting. First, it's low budget and possibly shot in Canada or, the like. It feels like an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. The music cues and stings are very like bum 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 bum. It's very much like
I know exactly what you mean by that.
There's definitely some real terror in there. There's definitely some there's 3 brothers. Sam Rockwell is the biggest one, then there's a middle one and a little one. The little one is afraid of clowns. Sam Rockwell is the whole movie busting his balls about being afraid of clowns and almost like big brother bullying, setting up, let's go for a walk in the woods. And then he runs ahead and hides and jumps out. So you have a dynamic of the brothers. The middle brother is kind of trying to shepherd the younger brother and help him. And what happens is they go to a carnival. They see some clowns. There's a pretty good creepy clown a regular clown, but it looks creepy. He tries to pull the scared kid on stage or into the ring. The kid doesn't want to do it, feels bad. The middle brother is, assuring him, hey, it's okay. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Sam Rockwell's, you're such a fucking baby, blah, 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 blah. They leave. 3 men run into the clown tent and kill the clowns and take their makeup and costumes. Later on, we hear a radio report about mental patients, but you didn't really need that. Whatever. They somehow follow those kids back to their giant Victorian home that no one else is home in. And it becomes a sneaking around the house thing. It's almost like a Twilight Zone episode where they're sneaking around and you'll see like literally Sam Rockwell will be in the foreground yelling past the audience to the brothers. And outside a clown runs by the window and he turns around and it's not there. There's got to be a dozen of those type of shots, but they're done really well. There's a really good one. Sam Rockwell's playing with the circuit breaker. And in doing that, the lights flicker. And as the lights flicker, a clown runs by him in the background. And it's it was good, done well enough that I had to rewind it to see which clown it was because it was really quick and it's sneaky. The clowns kill Sam Rockwell eventually. And it looks like they kill the middle brother, but the middle brother comes back. The kids end up killing the clowns or do things that you think they're probably dead. But it's a lot of buildup with not a lot of payoff, I think, but the buildup is pretty good. But like I said, it's that weird thing of like I'm watching Cobra Kai right now, and Cobra Kai feels like a show for like tweens sometimes until a character yells out, holy fucking shit. And you're like, wait, that's not for who are you talking to then? And that's what this movie feels like. Sometimes it does feel like an actual horror movie. Sometimes it feels like an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, which there's also one of those about a clown. But it's really cool. It's well shot. It's well done. It's well acted. The kids are decent actors, but again, it almost is like, I don't know who the audience is. I don't know why I don't know who it's for, but it's pretty creepy. Well,
it's for the director to have access to little kids.
They were in their underwear for a chunk of it.
Yeah. So creepy.
It's worth a watch if you could do it, I guess, without supporting Victor Salva, but it's an interesting put together movie. You could tell it's like, I like Jeepers Creepers and I like Jeepers Creepers 2. Yeah. You could see that this is a pretty good first movie for somebody, although I think he did a short before this. And definitely like a good creepy clown movie. It's just pretty generic, but again, 1989, that makes it before most of the ones that we think of today.
Yeah, pretty early, huh? Interesting. All right. I'm going to dive into a pretty heavy hitter, one that I was pretty into. So this came out in 2016, and it's sort of it's a feature that is based off a character from a anthology. The anthology was called All Hallows Eve. That came out in 2013. Mm-hmm. And then from that, a fan favorite from that anthology was Art the Clown. And he had his own movie called Terrifier, and Terrifier 2 is about to come out. So Terrifier 2016, he is, I'm sure if you're a horror fan, you've seen at least this clown's face. It's all white. He's all just black and white. You know, he has a tiny little black hat and big black makeup around his lips and like creepy makeup around his eyes. And he just shows up smiling like a maniac and then brutally murders people.
Does he have regular teeth or evil teeth?
They're not cute teeth, but
they're not like pointy teeth.
No. Yeah. They're just very, he's creepy looking, but they're not like, they're just yellow. I wouldn't say that they're like
but not,
sharp.
Not evil teeth.
No. But like this movie is pretty low budget. It's Halloween night. This girl and her friend are being stalked by this clown, and it keeps.
Is this All Hallows Eve that you're talking?
This is Terrifier. I don't want to talk.
Terrifier is the one.
Yeah. All Hallows Eve is just it's an anthology, and it's not even that great of an anthology. It's okay. Like, it's not bad. It's worth checking out if you're into anthologies. But like, I tried watching, I was like, the stalking of Art the Clown, I was like, okay, bored. And then he killed him, and I was like, oh, scary.
Cool.
Terrifier.
I watched Terrifier, and I didn't realize that was an offshoot until last night when I was prepping for the episode. I was like, oh, I didn't realize there was something.
I think Terrifier is great. It's these two girls on Halloween night, and they're being stalked by this clown, and everywhere they go, he just kills everybody around him. And then it turns into this like pretty terrifying cat and mouse. It is a nasty, mean horror movie, but just mean enough that I like it a lot. Like, I have a very fine line where it's like, I like a Saw movie, but it can cross a line, you know, and I like movies that are horror movies that are mean spirited. Sometimes I'm really into it, but if it gets too sadistic, I'm out. There's one later that got too sadistic and I wasn't really into it, but Terrifier was just scary. And I thought it was really well done, and it is really gory. He saws a woman in half, and it is gnarly, and then wears part of her as a vest later.
See, I watched Terrifier maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think I was like also doing homework or something at the same time. And I remember feeling it was a pretty ho-hum movie. I do remember the mean-spiritedness, and I do remember some of the kills and gore was good. Yeah. But I remember it wasn't like, I didn't walk away being like, meh. I think I like the effects and the kills. That was all I cared about.
I think it's really well done. I think it's worth watching if you have time to pay attention. The problem with like any sort of cat and mouse thing is if you don't keep the stakes up, if it's not edited right, and if the music isn't there to carry you, it can get boring really fast. And I think they did a good job of making it feel scarier. And like, people kept like coming to help them or accidentally coming into the situation and be like, what's going on here? And then blah, he gets killed by the clown. And it is bloody. And by the end, he's just covered in blood. His like white face is just drenched red. And it's gnarly. And he's smiling and laughing and waving the whole time.
He's got a good design. I like the design of that clown. That's what made me watch it in the first place.
It's a good scary clown movie, and it's a solid horror movie. Like, it's just a straight cat and mouse movie. It's not, not a very big budget, but they do it right for everything they have. And it is, like I said, it's pretty mean. Like, he cuts people up, and it is chasing a girl around with her friend's skin on. Horrifying. Really fucked up.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What else you got?
Well, those are my big ones. I have, do you remember? I mean, I opened the door with this, but Zeebo the Clown was an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They go into a carnival and they go into a fun house, and there's this big creepy clown statue, and I think the bullies try to pressure the main character to stealing the nose. But then, an actual Zebo the clown chases them. It's the same thing that we're talking about for all these other movies, but just no one's getting disemboweled. No one's wearing anyone's boobs around. It's just, like low level threatening, but that's pretty good. How about, this is an easy one and we don't have to talk about it too deep, but Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They're aliens. Yep. But they look like, I think that's a fun one design wise, because you take the elements of a clown and exaggerate them to the point of absurdity. You can make them as evil. You can make them as gory and cruel looking as you want. You know what I mean? You could really make them literally monstrous, which I think is a lot of fun. And I love that movie. And
it's fun. I think Killer Clowns from Outer Space, if it is the top of the mountain, I think Killer Clowns is up there.
Yeah, I agree.
It's high on recognizability and high on, if you are a horror movie fan, that's one of those ones that people are like, oh, you haven't seen Killer Clowns? That is, I think that's a staple, a rite of passage for anybody getting into, horror movies. Like at some point, you're going to come across Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's a Kyoto Brothers classic. It's like a comedy. Again, I think it's really well done. I think it takes way too long to get going. But once it gets going, it's super fun. Oh my God. The first 40 minutes are a man looking for his dog. And I am not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Minutes. He does not find his dog. The
acting is so terrible that it's so great. I'm so on board. The president principal of Animal House, isn't it? He's so fucking great. I also love this movie a lot because the kills are clown and circus related. Yeah. And not a lot of these are not. A lot of them are not. The only other one that I saw specifically that had some good clown kills was a movie from 2012 that's actually like a comedy horror called Stitches, where like he uses a balloon pump to blow up somebody's head with a giant foot. He kicks somebody's head off. Like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're doing clown jokes. And I feel like it's weird that doesn't happen more.
I love this one because they have like a Jack in the Box and he's like turning the Jack in the Box and the little clown pops up and then bites the guy's head, which is great.
Yeah. There's a lot of great gimmicks in it. One thing I would love to talk about is creepy clowns that look creepy versus regular looking clowns that are creepy. Now, for me, the scarier of the two is a regular clown doing creepy shit. And when you read or watch the original It, I guess in the new one too, the clown first appears in a sewer. Now, right away, something is wrong there. It doesn't matter the most beloved, beautiful, cuddly old grandma, if she's talking to you from beneath the sewer grate, something is wrong. Red flag. Something is wrong. And I think when you look at Tim Curry's makeup in that movie, it's great. He's a clown. But he's in a fucking sewer. Yeah. That's terrifying. And I always like that in these movies and these, shows and everything. I like that much better than the new It design. Because especially like you get into the lore of It and what Pennywise is trying to do. He's trying to lure children in. That clown thing, at least in the book, is described as a way to get kids close to him, get kids in. If you're It 2 clown, well, who's coming close to you? If you're Twisty from American Horror Story, who's getting close to you?
Is it? I thought it was Topsy. Is it Twisty?
I think maybe I might have read something. I might have read it wrong or wrote it because I didn't watch it. Topsy, Twisty. I think it's Twisty, but whatever his name is, he's got a crazy fake, skull grin, and he's covered in dirt, and his costume is ripped.
Twisty. Yeah.
That is very creepy, and that's a great costume. And I didn't realize that actor was that actor until I looked it up last night. But like. It's not. To me, that's a creepy guy dressed like a clown, not a clown. Yeah.
That clown is great. That's one of my favorite things from the American Horror Story series. He's really good, really scary too.
The one thing I thought of last night was a kind of a bridge between those two is Sid Haig's and Rob Zombie's Captain Spaulding, because he is supposed to be a clown that is goofy and, heads this amusement park ride situation. But then we see him half out of makeup or in makeup with regular clothes on, acting like a creepo. And then eventually like a mass murdering creep, I like the idea of take that same clown that's not doing anything creepy and an hour after he's done clowning, doing something creepy, that to me is creepier than the Skarsgård Pennywise. You know what I mean? I like that idea better.
It doesn't happen much. I will tell you this.
Agreed, yeah.
It doesn't happen a lot. There's not, looking through these movies and of all the movies I watched, there are not a lot of regular clown killing people. Since you brought it up, since we're on Rob Zombie, 31. I'll drop this one.
Did you watch this?
I did.
I almost did last night, and then when I read the premise and no Rob Zombie, I was like, there's almost no way I'm going to like this, and I don't want to suffer through this.
It's the one, it went too far. To me,
That's what I figured.
It was pure sadism, pure torture. Just, it's like 5 people trapped in a big warehouse complex being chased by clowns who murder them and cutting people up with chainsaws and stabbing them. And like, the kills were good and it was intense and it was very cat and mouse, but like, oh my God, it was so sadistic and I hate that shit. It was like for no reason other.
That's Rob
like,
Zombie.
The whole movie was about rich people dressed like aristocrats kidnapping people, carnies, and having them being tortured and murdered by clowns for fun. So it's like, that's all that I got out of it.
And I like legit think that Rob Zombie gets off on that kind of shit. And it's why I don't like watching Rob Zombie movies. I think House of a Thousand Corpses, that was the first one, right?
Yep.
There's some fun stuff in there, but
I like House of a Thousand Corpses, yeah.
It's fun, but I don't think it's good. And then the next couple of movies, what's the next one? Devil's Rejects has its moments, but again, I
really like Devil's Rejects, but that hit that limit and danced across that line.
That is the limit right there, for me.
And that's the one that danced across that line multiple times, but it did it in a way that I was like, I'm into this movie. They did it right. But then like 3 from Hell was just like unpleasantly nasty.
Well, I watched Halloween. When I did Halloween, I was like, you're just making this hard for me to watch, and you're not making it like. Halloween, in my opinion, missed the whole mark because he wanted to focus on how badly and horribly evil this family was treating this kid. And I was like, you want to make that movie, that's fine, but that's not what Halloween is. Halloween is about that guy being a stalker and a killer later.
I like his Halloween 2 better than I like Halloween.
Agreed,
Halloween 1.
But also Halloween 2 is not that great. And also does spend a lot of time on stuff that I'm like, but anyway,
sure.
Last night when I was looking, I was like, okay, I'm going to do a lot of times when we do these episodes, I'll watch a movie that I want to talk about, but also do some research while I'm doing it. So I watched the movies we just talked about earlier, Clown House and Clown. But this is when I almost started. And then I was like, chances are I'm going to feel tortured throughout this. So I did not do it. I'm glad you do it.
And look, I think a lot of people are going to be into this. And I think if you're into, extreme horror, which has its place, sure. I like Martyrs. I think that's a fucked movie, but I can't recommend it to people. So like 31's one of those movies, like if you are into what Rob Zombie's doing and you want a nasty time that you don't feel like safe watching and you want to go take a shower after, great. Have fun with 31. That's the movie for you. But to anybody else who's like, I want a scary clown movie, no, that's not the one. That's not the one. Terrifier is the name says it all, but like maybe watch it. If you're just a casual scary clown person, start with it.
Well, let me ask you this. Keeping with the clown theme of our episode, what in this movie what itch gets scratched by clown stuff? Like what happens in this movie that like, okay, cool, that's some clown stuff. Aside from like the bad guys are clowns, right?
They're all dressed like clowns. I mean, it's
no clown kills, no fun.
No, they're killing them with chainsaws and stuff. No, it's all just the like literally they could be in any makeup. The clown is inconsequential because they're carnies that they're killing. I don't know. Like it's inconsequential to them. They could have been dressed in any costume they wanted, and it wouldn't have mattered. Like, it has a reason to be a clown. Terrifier. It's Halloween and a clown scare. Like I think that's a lot of things about it. Like. The clown is inconsequential. It could be Jason, it could be Michael Myers, but like, why is the clown important? Well, it just subverts expectations of a childhood thing. And that's it. I got one that I want to bring up. Vulgar. You ever seen this movie, Vulgar?
Isn't Vulgar the one that was written and directed by Kevin Smith's friend?
Yeah. So it's basically Brian Johnson wrote it and directed it, and it has Brian O'Halloran in it, Brian Johnson, and Brian O'Halloran is the guy from Clerks. He's one of the main guys from Clerks. And, it's got Ethan Suplee in it and all these guys. And it is a movie. I was like, oh, View Askewniverse, this will be funny. I'm going to watch this. I can't wait to see, what Kevin Smith's friends are doing. And Kevin Smith's in the movie as a cameo, and he helped produce it and all this. Holy fuck, what an unpleasant time this was. I bought this in college. I have this movie. I own it. It's one of the
cover looks great. The cover and the one sheet looks great.
It's one of the most unpleasant films you could ever watch in your life. It's about a guy who's a party clown and life sucks and everybody's like it's being terrible to him. So he starts doing like bachelor parties where he shows up before the stripper and like ho, joke's on you. To like trick them into being like, we didn't order a clown, we ordered a stripper. Oh, I don't know, So he starts doing this and it's demeaning, but then he shows up and gets gang raped by 3 guys. Ethan Supplee's one of them, and it is graphic and horrible. Like, oh God, what a horrible movie. How much gang rape do you like in your clown movies? This, like, what the fuck? What the fuck movie?
I like that you sat here and listened to me complain about how Rob Zombie is too much, and now we're talking about this.
Yeah, well, why are the clown movies taking us to weird places? We got a pedophile in one movie. We got this. So he gets horribly just assaulted. They videotape it. He is in a terrible place after that, and then he's thinking about killing himself, and he hears people like needing help, and he runs out and saves some kids from a burning building, and like they're like, hey, you're a hero. So they give him his own show, and he's like, oh, things are turning around for me. And then he gets a call, and it's them. It's the creepy rapists, and they're like, hey, we're gonna release this video, and you'll be ruined unless you come and show up to our place one more time, and bad things are going to happen. So he shows up planning to kill them, but through a bunch of accidents, they end up killing each other, which is good, I guess. And then he's like, sweet, burns the tapes and lives happily ever after. But it's like, wow.
Is he dressed like a clown in that last situation?
He's dressed like a clown the entire time. Sometimes dressed as a clown in like women's underwear.
Sure.
It is one of the most unpleasant fucking films I've ever seen in my life. I'm still to this day.
Did you
scarred.
rewatch it for this episode, or you just watched it in college? And that was it?
I've seen it twice. I saw it once, and then I had to make somebody else watch it so that I wasn't alone with what happened to me. So I'm glad
you did it with that idiot, and not me.
Yeah, Guy. Yeah, my first roommate Guy in college. Yeah, he was like, why? What are you showing me? Why are you showing? He was mad. He was like, why are you showing this to me? What is this? And then what a horrible movie. Don't ever watch that.
Okay.
But creepy fucking clown. Way to go, guys.
CLC. I got a little one, a quick one.
Yeah.
Did you see the anthology movie Amusement?
No.
If you Google Amusement, the cover of it was like a straight to DVD right before streaming was a thing. This is actually the first movie I ever streamed, to be honest. It's got a creepy looking clown. It looks kind of like a human version of a killer clown from outer space.
Yep.
A specific one. And the title just said Amusement. And I saw it in the video store and did one of my rare, and this is like in the early 2000s. I was like, wait.
Oh, yeah. He has like a really long face with a creepy smile.
Yeah. I was like, don't buy it. And I waited. And then I found out Netflix was a streaming service. And I watched it on streaming. I didn't have to buy it. And it's an anthology. And it's actually a pretty good anthology. And I don't know if I have ever said this, but I hate anthology movies. Like, just make one fucking movie. I don't want 3 movies in a movie. Very rarely do I like that. This is interesting because they kind of all, spoiler alert, they kind of all are in the same universe and all touch each other a little bit. This story is the classic Babysitter's Home Alone and or a Babysitter's Home with the kids. And she's talking and there's a whole creepy clown room. And there's creepy clown shit all over this room. And including this giant clown that's sitting in a rocking chair. And there's a lot of scenes of her talking and there's an escaped person around and she's walking back and forth and you see the clown rocking in the rocking chair behind her. And then she turns and it stops. And there's a couple really good scenes of her slowly walking up. And you know that she suspects that this clown is alive. And she pushes it. And nothing happens. But then later on, it is alive and chases around the house and stuff. And then it just turns into normal cat mouse, babysitter thing. But I think it's a cool design clown. It looks cool. It's not necessarily, aside from a room filled with creepy clown dolls, there's not, it's not a clown thing. But I think it's
this
a cool
movie looks
little
pretty
design.
gory. Here's somebody getting torn apart
There's
by
some
hooks.
good effects. There's some creepy ass shit. They take one or two stories that like you've heard the same type of story before, but throw a little wrench in there. It's interesting. It's worth the watch. I can tell you for sure. You might not love it, but you're not going to tell me it's a waste of time.
You remember the movie Killjoy?
I do, and I think we watched the first one for Shitty Movie years ago, but I don't know. I don't remember anything about it other than it's like
There's like 5 or 6 of them.
yeah.
At this
Well,
point.
it's Full Moon's clown movie, and it's also like urban skewed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Big City
Quote, unquote,
Pictures, which is
urban
it's Big City
that's
Pictures,
Full Moon's.
which is Full Moon's urban department, which is like, oh god. But it's when he does clown kills, like he's being goofy when stuff's going down.
We watched the first one, and it's one of those thousands of Shitty Movie Sunday movies that I remember that we watched it, but I don't remember a single thing about it.
I remember it not being good. How about that? But not the worst thing I've ever seen, and good for shitty movie. How about
there
another
was no
shitty
gang
movie?
rapes in it, right? I think we
yeah. Nobody raped the clown, so I guess. Oh my god,
that's the name of this episode, right?
Nobody raped the clown. I mean, oh god, I'm sorry we had to go there, but like, when else am I ever going to get to talk about that movie? I never want to talk about that movie, but I had to get it off my chest. So here's one that we watched at Shitty Movie Sunday that I remember actually really liking: Drive Through. 2007.
Oh, that's an interesting poll. It's funny because I didn't see that on any of the lists that I looked at, and I didn't put it on mine. But yeah, tell us about that. Walk us into that.
So it's called Drive Through, and it's spelled stupid. DRIVETHRU.
They were texting the title.
Yeah, hungry for a killer meal? Horror gets supersized when Horny the Clown, the demonic mascot of Hella Burger, starts slashing Orange County teenagers with his meat cleaver from hell. So it's this guy in like a scary devil clown mask that has like a drive-through speaker built into it. So he's like, "You want fries with that?" And I just remember liking it. I haven't seen it recently. But it's all these people like kind of trapped inside this burger joint, and he's killing them. And I remember the kills being okay, and it doing its job well enough, and us having a good time laughing at it. So it's bad enough to enjoy with friends, but still good enough that I was like, it stuck with me as like, oh, that was kind of fun.
Someone gets killed. They put their head in a microwave.
Yeah,
and end up turning the microwave on. That's pretty cool. That's a good one. First of all, I love the idea that they took. There's a place called Hellburger that opened and did business, and they needed a mascot. So they created a mascot that looked evil like that, but also they're like, what should we call this evil looking mascot? And they're like, I don't know. How about Horny
the Clown?
Like, okay, that all makes sense.
So wild. So yeah, it's a good one. That's worth checking out for sure. I think people, if you like low budget slashers and you're just in for a good time, that one's worth checking out.
Here's one that I almost watched last night, but again, I thought I wanted to target what we were going to talk about. There's a movie from 2016, it looks like, called Wrinkles the Clown. Did you see that?
I see
or
the poster. Yeah, that's a poster that I got right in front of me right now.
So yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Oh wait, 2019, but it's about this guy, and I don't know. I don't even know if this is real, but apparently it is a documentary about a guy who dresses up like a scary clown and scares kids per their parents. The parents hire them to fuck with the kids. And I almost started watching it. I was like, this is not exactly what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. I should watch something that's more of a traditional clown horror movie. But I added that shit to watch list because I want to see what the fuck that's about. I have a website here. I'll just read you from creepycatalog.com, scary clown movies. This documentary tells the story of a crazy clown. While many of the reviews of this movie on Amazon are negative, it's actually quite a good movie explained by the defender of the film. Ignore the emotionally driven, infantile comments about how some thought Wrinkles was a movie. This is an entertaining docudrama about a local scary Floridian clown who cleverly and cunningly drove the internet, media, and public insane with intrigue and self-induced paranoia. See for yourself and know Wrinkles the Clown is an eye-opening account of a fascination with an obsessive hysteria of an imagined psychotic clown hired to prank and correct disobedient, problematic children.
So it's not real, but it's a documentary about it's an idea that's real, but did he ever get hired to scare children?
It looks like this review says no, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it regardless.
Okay.
When I first saw Blair Witch, I didn't think it was real once I started watching it, but I thought it was real going into it. Like before I started, like when the hype came out,
yeah,
I thought it was an actual found footage thing, but like that just makes it more interesting. But whether this is a real thing or a idea that then ran out of hand, even though it was never done, I'm going to watch that documentary and see what that is. So
here's my last one, and we got to wrap up. This is The Last Circus. Came out in 2010. It's so weird, man. It is such a weird movie. I can't even say that it's like a horror movie. I can't say it's a comedy. I don't know what this movie is, but there's two clowns at a circus and they're both in love with like a trapeze artist dancer.
Have you seen this?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know, Santa Sangua, it's like a Jodorowsky movie. Like it's very impressionistic and then it's not, and then it's super violent. And it's
Is it
like,
American?
No.
Okay.
I'm looking right now trying to figure out what it actually is, and I can't find it.
It has something to do with the Spanish Civil War.
Yes, sort of. 2010. I think it's Spanish. Yes, a young trapeze artist must decide between her lust for Sergio, the happy clown, or her affection for Javier, the sad clown, both of whom are deeply disturbed. That's an understatement. This movie's so bizarre. The sad clown cuts up the happy clown. He's all scarred up. They beat up the sad clown. He burns his face with irons, and that's his makeup. He starts like going into like shooting people with machine guns. You don't know if it's real. You don't know if it's a fever dream. It's bizarre. It's in Spain. It takes place in 1937 Spain. It's the Civil War. I can't even describe it, but it's worth checking out if you want a sad fucking time. Like, it is so bizarre. And just one of those movies that, like, I don't know if it's good, but I can't stop watching it because it's so weird.
Had you seen it before we were talking about this episode?
Yeah, I saw this years ago. I saw it when it came out. I saw it at possibly the New Beverly, one of those weird art house films in LA. Because I saw the trailer for it and I was like, oh, that looks fun. Violent clown movie. I'll go check that out. And then I was like, oh, God, this is so bizarre. No clowns get raped, though. So
yeah, so it could have been worse / harder.
It was better than I expected. It's well done and it's stylistically really cool, but it is twisted. So bizarre.
Yeah, it was one of those when I was researching it and I looked into it, I was like, this seems like a lot of cool things, but also the fact that it's foreign, the fact that it's about such a niche topic, I was like, that seems like it might be going off the beaten path of creepy clowns a little bit, but
it's so creepy though. Like the clowns, by the time they're all cut, their faces are all cut up and his face is burned with irons and he's just crying blood all the time and shooting people. The whole movie's creepy because you're just like, I don't know what these characters are going to do. Nothing feels safe anymore.
Oh, can I tell you a random thing about clowns?
If it's quick.
Yeah. When I was an RA in school at Emerson College, I got off the elevators one day, and you should start playing the music now when you edit it. I came off of the elevators and I heard there is some creepy like calliope music that's from what's that? Something of a Dream. The guy who did Pie. It's about drugs and Jennifer
Requiem
Connelly.
for a Dream.
Yeah. There, at the end of that, there's this creepy calliope sound, clown sounding music. I literally got off the elevators in the little building in my dorms and heard this music. And I looked down the corridor and there was a bunch of people standing outside of a room where this music was coming from laughing. And I'm like, what is going on? So I walk over there and when I look in the room, there is one of my, I didn't know who it was at first. From neck down, full clown outfit. From head up, a latex mask that looked kind of like, in my memory, Bossk, like a lizard creature, but painted clown-wise. And he was dancing in like creepy clown thing in this room over a passed out drunk person on the bed. So as I saw what was happening, someone explained to me that the guy in the bed was drunk and his roommate decided to fuck with him by putting on this music that was creepy clown sounding to begin with. Why he had that costume, I'm not sure. I don't remember if it was near Halloween or not. But I walked in and it was just like, and he's literally like dancing in a clown costume. And I was like, I could only imagine how this half drunk kid's gonna feel like in an hour. And I hope nobody mentions it to him. Nobody says anything about it.
So this one time in college, I had this awful dream. I got real drunk and passed out. And I woke up to the sound of laughter and a boss clown dancing all over me. No, that didn't happen to me. That's fucking insane, man.
I have it on video. I definitely have it on video.
Where? No,
well, now I absolutely do. Yeah, I'm because I used to carry my my Sony High 8 with me.
No, I believe you think you have it, but if it's that old, you do not have it backed up on a drive that will work.
No, it is. I just put everything digital.
Yeah,
over 100 hours of stuff.
Oh my God, that's exciting.
I'll look for that specifically.
All right, let's find it. Cool, man. Well, let's do a quick countdown, man. What's the best scary clown movie?
All right,
we'll be right back. All right, for those of you on the YouTube, you get to hear us hash this shit out.
Yeah.
It's number one.
Yeah, it's number one.
Vulgar the Clown's number two. No, terrible. It's number one for sure. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is number two.
I would think so.
All right. Clown is number three.
Clown on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
Art the Clown, number 4. Terrifier.
How about Joker as a dark horse? We didn't even talk about Joker.
It. Yeah.
But still, I think he is. I mean, I don't know why we didn't talk about him. That's creepy as shit and very important.
Put him in at number 5. And
yeah,
we can talk on him. Yeah, hit him with number 5. It'll be a dark horse. Be like, hey, we snuck one in because we're stupid.
You know how we do that sometimes? We forget to talk about shit.
All right. So it'll be Joker, Art the Clown, Clown the movie, Killer Clowns. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it. All right, here we go.
There's a movie, this website has a movie, Clowntergeist, 2017, and this is terrible. The one sentence. Clowntergeist is about a college student who has to face a possessed clown who wants to kill her. Then there's a new sentence that says, watch out, clown ghosts, with an exclamation point. So it's like, are the clown ghosts in danger? Are you warning the clown ghosts? How was that?
I think it's happening? Watch out, comma, clown ghosts.
That's what it should be. Yeah, watch out. Clown ghosts. But that's not. It's like, watch out, clown ghosts. All the clown ghosts are like, whoa, shit. Oh, thanks for the heads up.
Thanks for the heads up, guys. This house is clean. All right, we're back with the Pulp Culture Countdown for the Killer Clowns. Matt is spraying himself in the face with a seltzer bottle.
And Aaron is not eating a pie. He's just laying his face in it. You guys really should watch the YouTube, if not to see us in crazy clown gear, but because you get to see how we come up with these little lists. It's a really intricate process that is a big to do. So
I mean, we had to roll dice. There was
there's a lot of research. We consult a lot of experts, but sometimes it's kind of fun, and we say other jokes that they end up getting cut because of. We can't take all your time, right? You guys got to eat and sleep.
Jesus Christ. All right, here we go. At number 5, we're sneaking one in. We're cheating right now.
Yeah, this is one that we didn't really talk about, but I feel like we really should. The Joker.
The Joker.
Right? Name your Joker. It doesn't matter if it's Heath Ledger or Art Adams or fucking any Bill Finger. It doesn't matter. Whoever you want to call your Joker, whether it's a movie Joker or...
Mark Hamill, man. The Mark Hamill cartoon one, the way he did it was so good.
There's so many That's an interesting thing, too, to think about, because we could have talked about this more about Pennywise. There's 2 different incarnations of the same character, right? The same specific clown. Yep. But I feel like we'd be remiss to not mention the Joker. He's super fucking iconic. The fact that he looks like a clown is very important. And he's creepy. I mean, at his best, he's still pretty creepy, right? In the most G-rated version you can find, he's still pretty creepy. It's that whole thing of, the expectations. You look like a clown, but you might murder or kill or steal or shoot my daughter in the spine and then make me look at her naked pictures.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh my God. What? Why did the clowns bring up all the creepy sexual assault? Horrifying.
There's no other reason to be dressed like we're dressed right now.
Yeah, man, the Joker, number 5, man. He's one of the creepiest clowns of all time. Number 4, Art the Clown, Terrifier. I think he ushered in a new era of scary clowns right at the height of the 2016 scary clown, people dressing up as clowns and getting their ass kicked by neighborhoods of vigilantes. Yeah, he's great, man. This is a nasty movie. This is really a scary one, and I think it's worth checking out if you're looking for something really messed up.
Would it work for Shitty Movie Sunday, or is it too good or too straight?
Too good. It's too good, and it's too straightforward. It's not. Right. It's not cheesy at all. It's so like the only thing goofy in it is the clown, and he's not making me laugh.
It's a good design. I'll rewatch it now that you say it's a good movie. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
Number 3 is another movie that's worth watching and is good and wouldn't work for Shitty Movie Sunday, and that's 2014's Clown, the one that we talked about a lot on the show today. Pleasantly surprised and very surprised. I liked it a lot. It's got some, it's got decent enough clown. Like I said, it doesn't have a straightforward clown at any given point. It's this weird, decrepit clown thing that starts evolving into a clown creature, but like awesome, cool effects, a fun enough story. Again, I would have liked some clown kills, but we've had an episode before. If you guys haven't heard the Kids Are All Right episode about the kids fucking killing kid. Is that's the one, right? Kids Are All Right.
Yeah, the ones where we start messing movies that
kids get killed and fucked up.
Movies, yeah.
And it doesn't shy away. It's not like a kid gets killed and you hear about it. You see blood on the walls. You see fucking pieces getting pulled off.
Pieces of them sliding down a slide with blood. Yeah,
awesome. Really, and it's fun. It's well done, and it doesn't feel silly like a lot of these I think do. Like ooh, killer clown movies. This is like it's good. It's definitely worth the watch. Like I said, I'll be buying it because it was that good. So I'm that surprised, and I think that earned the number 3 spot. Absolutely,
very very well made film. I liked it as well. Number 2. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is a classic Kyoto Brothers Halloween just go-to for a lot of people. It's aliens that look like clowns and kill people in funny clown ways. Another one of my favorites is where they're doing like shadow puppets on the wall and they turn the shadow puppet into a T-Rex and it kills a guy, bites him in half. It's super funny. Kills a guy.
Cotton candy guns.
Yeah, cotton candy guns because the cotton candy like eats you, mummifies you. That's cool. It's cool.
And
movie.
they can drink your blood and your liquid out of the cotton candy
with goofy straws. Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Man.
Yeah. They have popcorn that turns into little creatures. The best, my favorite is in that movie, right?
Which
my favorite scene?
What?
There's a burger stand and there's a giant clown outside the burger stand and a little girl sees him and he's making faces at her and she makes faces at him and he waves at her and she waves at him. And then he beckons her with his finger. Come here. Come here. She looks at her mom and she starts to sneak over. And as she starts to sneak, he's waiting for her outside. As she starts to sneak, we see he's got a giant Bugs Bunny mallet behind his back. And that's my favorite. She gets stopped. The mom is like, honey, get over here. But he wasn't going to turn her into a cocoon or a bubble. Or they were balloon.
Her with a hammer.
He was going to smash her to pieces with a giant hammer. That's scary as shit. Like, yeah.
My favorite part is when the sheriff gets turned into a ventriloquist dummy.
Well, the best, it's the same clown who does the hammer for that one. The best is after he makes him talk, he drops the body and his hand is covered in gore and he whips it towards the floor and you hear the gore fly off and hit the floor. I thought that was a pretty brutal way to do that.
It's full of fun little gags. It's a fun movie. It's ridiculous. If you can get past the first 40 minutes, Wilbur, where's my dog?
That's not 40 minutes. That's a couple minutes. And he's an icon from shitty movies, that guy. I forget what his name is. But
number 1, where are we at, Matt? What do we got? What's our number 1?
I mean, how can you argue?
Yeah, no doubt.
Pennywise. And I'm going to specifically say it's the 1990 Pennywise. Although I guess like parts of Star Wars, like you and I have what we consider Star Wars, and kids today think Star Wars is something different. I'm not necessarily saying one of us is right or wrong, but those kids are wrong and we are right. But the same thing is true, I think, for Pennywise. I think the new movies now have given this new generation a new Pennywise, a new killer clown to be their go-to, but it is still Pennywise. But
as long as it gets kids to read the book at some point.
Sure, yeah.
I don't care what the clown looks like.
That book is 10 times scarier than either of the movie. And the 1990 movie came out. What year were you born?
84.
83? 84. So you were 6 when the first movie came out. I was 8. but like I saw it a year or two after that. And it fucked me up. Like that's scary as shit. And it's, you know, for a made for TV, for budget and for ratings, you couldn't do so much in your face graphic shit, but it's still terrifying. The book is even scarier. And I think that definitely like that made the mold for what killer clowns do, how they act, what they say, what they look like.
I read the book in high school, and it was the scariest thing I think I had ever read. It was fucking me up. I like, there were times when it's like, I left the light on all night. I don't know how that happened. Like, it was a scary ass book, and it really, because it's not just about clowns that kill kids. It's about evil in a town, and they get into some evil shit that you're like, oh God, that's messed up. So fucked up. What a mind fuck of a book. Damn. Yeah.
I'll tell you,
it's number one.
This summer we were in Rhode Island, and Rhode Island has sewer grates just like it. And we don't have them where I live here. And it was pouring rain one day, and then it let off, and me and Kent went outside, and there was fucking water running down there. And we walked over to sewer grate, and he was looking in and dropping rocks. And I was like, Kent, is Georgie in there? And he was like, Georgie, where are you? And now it's a thing. I mean, we don't do it now, we're back in California, but every walk we went on when we saw those grates, and on that cloudy ass day that it had just been raining, we're looking in there, and I was like, I'm a grown ass man, and I think I'm pretty tough. If a fucking clown stood up in that grate, I would shit my pants. Like, how scary. You ever do that? Like, you ever be in a situation, you're like, what would it be like if I experienced this thing I saw in a movie?
Yeah.
And I did that. Like, I mean, even on times where I was running and I didn't have my infant son with me, just looking in there and being like, can you imagine if there was a clown looking at you right now from a sewer grate?
All the
Get the fuck out.
Noping out of there. Dude, so we where we live, they have these same thing, big, I wouldn't say, it's like above ground sewer entrances that are like large. And every time I drive past them on the golf cart, I go, clown house. He's like, well, it's like clown house right there. And like, there's one by the lake that's like a clown mansion. It's a large tower with like jail cell windows into it with a giant sewer grate on top of it. I'm like, clown mansion, that's clowns are in there. That's how you get to the clown world. And like, you'll drive past and it's like a raised sewer grate entrance, and it's like clown house.
You think that the clowns that live in the sewers are afraid of us and they tell the same stories just on the reverse side?
Oh yeah, they're totally I Am Legending that shit. For sure. All right, guys, well, let us know what your favorite clown movie is. Creepy fucking clowns. Let us know. You like
what
clowns?
Did we miss? Yeah, I want to hear what we missed. Like, you know, the big, what can you not believe we talked about? Or
like,
didn't talk about?
Yeah, you guys didn't hit up this clown movie? What's wrong with you? Are you a clown? Do you ever put on white face makeup?
Oh, yeah. Write us if you're a clown.
If you are a clown and you're so offended, like if we didn't offend you to the max, let us know how we can do better next time. No,
I hope we get a message from a clown who also does bachelor parties, and he's like, I don't want to talk about it.
No, I hope we get a message from a clown. They're like, I also eat children. No, clowns are. See, now I think it solidified it more. Clowns are scary. They're fucking weird. All right, guys, let us know what you're thinking. Hit us up social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at LaunchpadPod, and our website, launchpadpod.com. And on YouTube. Check us out. See us in our clown makeup. All right, Rumi, let's blast this thing off.
Make sure that when our hands hit, you put a honk noise.
All right, here we go. Honk, honk. All right, we're the Rocketeers, and we are out.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3,